Let me introduce two experts joining us on the show. Dr. Anita Ramesh, who's a clinical trial specialist and a senior consultant at the Apollo, Chennai. Also joining us, Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, chairman of Nephron Clinics, with us this afternoon. Thank you so much to both the doctors who are with us today. I want to begin by asking you on the issue that INSACOG has flagged off. The body in its bulletin just quite a few days ago, in fact, but something that has been highlighted now is that those who are above the age of 40 and are at high risk or high exposure should be now immediately considered as a priority for booster dose. Dr. Anita Ramesh, your thoughts on this first. Are we now at that juncture where we need to immediately talk about the booster dose for age group 40 plus?
Yes, we were already discussing about the booster dose for the healthcare professional and the high risk, which includes immunocompromised people across the country. As you know, several countries have already started. Discussion was going on. But in the meantime, the threat of Omicron has come inside, which is spreading fast. We don't know the severity of the disease, but we know that the virulence or the infectivity is quite high. And that brings us to a further discussion with the genomic specialist, which has the SARS-CoV Genome Consortium feels that the people who are high risk and ultra high risk above the age of 40 must get their dose of vaccination, whether you call it a booster dose or an additional dose, because with the dwindling antibody titer, like myself, I've got my vaccine only in Feb and now it's November. It's high time for us to boost the immunity, and we don't know how this virus is going to act. So all the more there is a need to boost up our immune response and to tackle the new variant. And we being healthcare workers, and along with not only us, nurses, other staff, security, all the pharmacy, everybody will be exposed to the rising number of cases. So there is a need. So 40 above, I think it's a priority should be taken at uttermost important, and to start the vaccination immediately.
Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, do you also feel that this has been necessitated because of the Omicron threat? Because the INSACOG in the same statement also talks about how the current vaccine may prove to be insufficient. There's no confirmation on this yet. Research is still underway. But what are your concerns around this issue on whether we need a booster dose or not?
So good afternoon. I think these facts in the international scientific literature were existing for the past 4 to 5 months. There have been studies after studies which have undisputedly shown that the immunity post-vaccination between 5th and the 7th month after the 2 shots decreases. It has also been done with regards the American studies, the Ivy Hospital in New York with 5.8 million patients, the UK study, Israel, Puerto Rico, Cyprus. All of them have shown that the immunity decreases down to almost 38 to 40% as compared to above 90% in the clinical trials. And this has necessitated a lot of vaccine effectiveness studies, which has shown that the 3 vaccines increases and enhances the neutralizing antibodies and your binding antibodies between 25-fold increase to 50-fold increase. And there is a latest study of Lancet, which has done a unified platform trial of 7 different vaccines, which has been published just yesterday, and it has shown an increase both all the 4 elements of anti-spike antibodies, neutralizing antibodies, binding and T cells, which is the cellular arm. So I think we are we need to enhance the first vaccines into vaccines very quickly, and parallelly in simultaneous juncture start the process of prioritizing for the 3rd vaccines. It should be the healthcare workers, the elderlies, people with comorbidities of any age. Mind you, there is also a study which has come out in an international journal that children with asthma are 6 times more liable to case fatality and death as compared to non-asthmatics in COVID. Yes. So we know that comorbidities are affected. So the 3rd vaccine shouldn't actually be called as a booster. I would very clearly call it as a part of your primary immunization. It should start as quickly as possible, including the vaccination for children, which is 45% of Indian population, which is almost 45 to 50 crores.
Yes, absolutely. Those concerns remain, but there's the other. So, I mean, so far from what I gather, both the experts are unanimous in this, that there should be serious thought on introducing the booster dose. The other point that is being discussed on whether the current crop of vaccines give us enough cover, give us enough protection against the Omicron variant. Dr. Anita Ramesh, what can you share with us? Given the information that is currently available, what can we draw from it?
Yeah, see, if you see the new Omicron variant, it has 46 to 52 mutations in the genetic material. It has 26 to 32 mutation in the spike protein. So the huge quantity of mutation has happened, and the whole viron is almost changed, and it is spreading fast. Now, with the immunity that we have, it is quite difficult as on today to predict whether how much protection will we get from the Omicron variant, knowing that so much of mutation has happened. This is point number one. Second one, I want to also tell you from the previous studies we have seen with the Delta strain all over the world and in all vaccines, whether it is Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Covishield, everybody we saw there's a 10 to 15% reduction in the immunity or the antibody titer as far as the Delta strain is concerned. So that also brings us to the discussion. Yes, the antibody titer efficacy may decrease by 10 to 15% or even more. We don't know at this point of time. Only one thing I can tell optimistically about India, we have the Covaxin is actually a whole viron, which is inactive virus. The whole virus is there when we take the vaccination. There is a hope, might be, it may act to whatever mutation has taken place. So that's one way of optimizing. I think we don't have much scientific data to support it, but let's watch and see. Sitting over here at this point of time, we do not have much data, hoping that this vaccines will prevent us, but that it is better to give rather than not. At least some protection you will get, and research to continue. And we also need to continue our genomic sequencing to see what the virus is about. And accordingly, the vaccine has to be manufactured based on what is the genomic changes. And maybe an mRNA vaccine, other vaccine, mix and match up. And that can be a lot of discussion taking place, how to. But then once the data comes in, then we can tell more about vaccine cover. But as on today, please take your second dose. If third dose is approved, please quickly take it. It gives you cover. Wear your masks and continue COVID appropriate protocol. And that's how we can tide over the Omicron.
Right. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, the other point of concern again is on the behavior of the Omicron variant. From whatever information that we have gathered so far, experts and doctors rather in the affected countries have conveyed that the symptoms are mild. Are we to believe that the severity of the symptoms, whatever manifests if you get infected with it, is mild? So therefore there is no cause of alarm, but the transmissibility is high. Is that what you are also gathering, or is there anything more you want to add to this?
Yeah, so there is although it's an unpublished study, but it's a pre-published study which has come out last night, in which it has shown the percentage of increase of reinfection with Omicron, especially in South Africa, is 2.4 folds more. So that's your first clinical indicator that this is obviously a more invasive and more transmissible infection. If you look at it from a clinical point of view, we have data that it is more invasive and infectious and transmissible anywhere between 2.5 to 5 times more. There is also information that 29% of total admissions in South Africa in different districts is just pediatric age group, which is mainly between 2 years and 4 years of age. This we had not seen either with the Delta or Alpha or Gamma or any other viral strain. So it's obviously infecting the younger children more. More number of children are now getting hospitalized. There's a 12% increase week to week from South Africa. But I will not be complacent by saying it's mild at the present moment and it can't change its picture. Sure, it can. With regards to the vaccines, I think all the vaccines will hold good, although the immunogenicity and the effectiveness on the ground of certain vaccine platforms may not be as authentic as what it was portrayed earlier, but it will still protect you. It is called as cross-reactive protective B cell and T cells, and there is an innate immunity which is built up with your memory cells. So your vaccines are your main bat to protect you from severe disease and death. And I'm quite sure that the people who've been double vaccinated and now waiting for the third vaccine will be pretty well protected even against Omicron.
That's why we have been emphasizing here time and again that those who are due for the second dose, do not hesitate. Go ahead with completing at least the 2 doses Then, of course, the conversation now has already started with the booster dose. So let's not be lax in going ahead and getting ourselves jabbed. There are still pockets in this country where there is hesitancy to go for the second dose. That must ramp up. Vaccine cover is our first line of defense. Then, of course, new strategies will emerge. Thank you so much, Dr. Anita Ramesh and Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, for joining us this afternoon.